My name is Judy Fox, and I serve as the Program Manager for the Los Angeles Regional Consortium, also known as LARC, which represents 19 community colleges across the Los Angeles region. I also have the pleasure of co-leading the LARC AI Task Force with Dr. Narne Makijian, Assistant Vice President and Chair of LARC. Today's AI professional development session, AI and Accounting and Finance Careers, is made possible through our partnership with the Los Angeles County Office of Education, also known as LACO, and the coordination and vision of LARC's AI Task Force. This collaborative work has resulted in over 30 AI professional development opportunities made available for all of you well into 2026. Leading today's session is Dr. Arvind Sathi, who serves as Technical Senior Director and CDO Data Catalyst for KPMG, and Nina Sathi, who serves as Principal for the Applied AI Institute. The goal of today's presentation is to provide an authentic, hands-on experience with the tools professionals use, helping accounting and finance students, educators, and practitioners gain insights into the emerging workforce trends and real-world applications of AI. And before we launch into it, we're excited to share that you will find today's professional development session and more on the newly launched LARC AI Learning Library, and we'll drop the link in the chat. So please keep your cameras on if you can to energize our trainers, and let us know in the chat if we need to slow down or if you have any questions. So with that, I turn it over to our friends and AI subject matter experts to get today's professional development started.
Thank you, Judy, and let me get started. Let me start sharing my screen. You guys can see my screen and you can also hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. And as Judy said, this is an interactive session, so feel free to raise your hand or talk and ask questions as we go along. We have a big agenda. And of course, we will start with our introduction, and then we will get right into some AI exercises for the students, because we have a population of students joining in us today with using some of the AI tools. And then we will talk about what is AI, generative AI, and why do we need to get into that. Then we will, Arvind Sathi will talk about AI in accounting and finance and how KPMG is handling and how the carriers are shifting. And then we will both together do the exercise for 10K analysis. Since most of you are accounting professional, we will take a big 10K document and we can say how we can utilize AI to analyze that document and get some meaningful insights from a 10K document from a company. And then we will also show you that AI can be utilized to do fantastic application like building a grade bot, which can take your rubric, take your assignment, take your study guides, anything you have, and will grade your assignment. Not only it will grade, first it will generate the rubric for you and then grade the assignment. And finally, we will talk about question answers or next step, where can you go from here? So let me get started with the introduction. Arvind, you want to say anything about KPMG?
Yeah, let's start with KPMG. Nina, if you can turn on the YouTube.
Transforming industries.
The beginning. Yeah.
In the AI era, anything seems possible. Creating value. Transforming industries. Even saving lives. And changing the way we do business. From small steps to solving seemingly impenetrable problems. You can. You can with AI. You can with KPMG.
I wanted to start from this to show you that we have a series.
Excuse me one second. Arvind, you're really hard to hear.
Okay. Let's make sure that I can you hear me any better?
That's much better. Thank you.
Perfect. I'm now closer to the speaker, or microphone rather. So one of the things I want to introduce through this process is if you go to YouTube, you can find a series called You Can with AI. It's an amazing series. We have been posting a lot in this series on what you can do with AI. And I just showed you the kind of the orientation or introduction session on that. KPMG is one of those companies that have gone and decided that we are going to completely reinvent ourselves with AI. We are investing close to $2 billion globally on AI, and we have got very strong partnerships with Microsoft and Google to make this work in conjunction with our technology partners. So as I go through my introductions, I'll tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing, but this is the way I want to kind of position KPMG as a AI first company. Nina?
Okay, let me talk about Applied AI Institute. We are an educational and consulting institution where we are building a lot of courses in various AI-related topics. We provide online education, instructor-led education, self-paced. In many of the AI courses, anywhere from generative AI to building the AI governance to knowledge graph to data science. We also have a program through which we teach through UCI, LMU, and we have courses launched through MIT. And all our instructors have over 30 years of AI development experience, including working in many industries like telecom, healthcare, and all of our faculty has worked in leading professional companies like KPMG, Accenture, CenturyLink, and IBM. We have many publications which are available through Springer Links, video books. And finally, we also talk about frameworks and methodology which you can use to build your AI-driven solution. What is meant by design thinking, agile mindset, data science methodology. And of course, the detail on our website can be found at aaii.ai. And we have many solutions we have built, top on the Microsoft and Gemini platforms, Google platform, to help our students understand AI problems and how to work in the AI solution. And these solutions range anywhere from resume ranker to gradebot to job description, product recommendation, investment coach, and EV charging. So let me quickly introduce myself since I'm already here. As I mentioned, I bring 35 years of AI development experience by working in many industries, telecom, utilities, healthcare, retail, as well as government. I have deployed many solutions for government. And my applications have been deployed worldwide, Latin America, US, Canada, Europe, as well as Asian countries. I myself have 6 publications through Springer Links in AI topics. These all video books are available through Springer Links websites. And I started my career with AI startup where I worked for 7 years. The company got public. Then I moved to Accenture in a senior management role. And the last 2 companies I worked for, IBM, I worked for more than a decade. And I was the North America lead for Smarter Process. And then I also was part of the Watson Group. KPMG, I was the director for cognitive solutions in the Lighthouse. Anyways, so that's my brief introduction. Let me bring it to Arvind.
Okay. Yeah, so as you may have by now figured out that our backgrounds are pretty similar, and we have been working together in the field of AI for over 40 years. In my case, my journey started with a PhD in AI. It was under Dr. Herb Simon, who got his Turing Award and Nobel Prize for his seminal work in AI. He was the one who introduced the field of AI in 1957. I did my PhD in 1980s, and it was on multi-agentic framework. So I was probably a little farther ahead of where the technology was, and finally the software caught up with me. Currently, I'm working with KPMG. I did a fair amount of work with UCI, teaching there also. And a lot of my work, like Nina, has been in the field of telecom, media, and accounting. A lot of my work recently now is mostly accounting and finance. So it's like the accounting and finance functions in across multiple industries. I have done a fair amount of work in Australia. I was there for 2 years to build some telecom specific AI solutions for Telstra. And I've done work in Korea, North America, a lot of work in India, and so on and so forth. You can find my books on Amazon. So there are 4 books. If you look for my name in Amazon, you will be able to find those books there. And in addition to that, I have 4 patents and have done a fair amount of work in publishing and making sure that this work is available to everyone. Okay, so that's kind of a quick background on us. Let's turn the page over to you and let's see if we can get something understanding of your background. So we're going to do a POLEV here. And as Nina is setting it up, what we want to know is, firstly, we want to understand a little bit on your background.
Especially if you have any experience in AI, and you can answer this POLIV either through web or through text or scanning this barcode. So I really wanted to know, we have a lot of material to cover, and based on your background, we can change our presentation accordingly. Okay?
So first one is a beginner.
I'm sure there will be, so we'll go slowly, and please feel free to stop me and ask questions. This is definitely a very interactive session.
Oh, I don't see the prompt for, oh, did I miss the prompt?
Prompt for what?
The question is, what is your experience with GenAI, LLM, or prompt engineering? And that's a question. And
Oh, there it is. I see.
Yeah. And you have to choose between these 4 choices. So it looks like
Okay.
so far nearly half of the class is beginner, which means we are going to go a little slow to make sure that we are not getting into any of the advanced topic, Nina.
And then I also wanted to understand, I have some profile about you, but I wanted to make sure I understand whether you are a student, educator, because then I can tailor. Okay, so I will tailor my exercise for students, for educator, and for accounting professionals.
No tech enthusiasts and hobbyists so far. That's interesting.
Okay. No, that's fine. Even the management can follow all the 3, student, educator, and accounting. So that is not at
Right.
all a problem. Then I know that people are saying, and you are also reading, that your job or role will transform with generative AI. So what is your perception? Is already changing or will change in the future, 6 to 12 months, 12 to 36 months, or
Yeah.
maybe never?
Yeah, what is interesting is that you have to be living in a cave not to know about what's AI doing, especially with all the bubble talk that's happening right now in the stock market. It's an amazing technology that has moved fast.
Okay, good. Yes, and all of our jobs will change in the next, or it's already changing. And what Ethan Mollick said, that in order to practice AI, you really have to do at least 10 hours of prompt engineering work to get good in it. And let me tell you, I must have done at least several thousands of prompt engineering exercises, developing prompts. Still, I think I have a long way to go. So you do need to practice. Prompt is nothing but a new way of coding. You can code in English. And we will, since a lot of you are newer, I will start with prompt engineering, give some exercise, and then we will describe what AI is all about. And I also wanted to tell you that we will be using AAII Sandbox, which is configured with many tools from Microsoft and Gemini, Google, and OpenAI to help you do your work. So if you do not have access to the sandbox, which is accessible through https://sandbox.aai.ai, then I think that just put it in the text, and we have an admin who can configure it, so you can follow it along, or you can do it yourself. And
Yeah,
last
so
but
in the chat, if you put in, I see that a couple of people are writing no there. If you have problems getting into that, if you can in the chat, engage with Ethan Parr, who is also online.
just put your email, because the access to the sandbox is giving through your registered email. And last but not the least, since I want to start with prompt as one of the exercises, I wanted to know if I will be showing you the power of prompt engineering through some of the typical use cases. So I took anywhere from investment to resume consultant to movie recommendation to pet lover. Everybody, a lot of people likes pet and they have pet at home. So how do you take care of them? So what looks like everybody's interested in all of these 4 use cases. So I'll get into all of them. How about that? And Arvind, do you mind sending those use cases in the chat or the prompt? So let me get back to,
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do the prompt on it.
okay.
because I'm on
So
a
let's
position.
talk about what is prompt engineering. Everybody knows that AI is there. And what is AI is basically putting all the information you have on the internet on a zip drive, so you can utilize that for getting any answers. It can create content, it can write text, it can make images, it can even create music or videos for you. So it has a language understanding. If you write something, whether it's in Spanish or English or Korean or whatever language, it can understand. So it has a knowledge of how you can read. It can also write. Write means if you ask something, it can respond to you by typing or through voice. It can chit chat. So you can easily do a lot of applications. And finally, it can draw images. If it can draw images, it can static images, moving images, videos. It can do all of that interaction. So when I say it can read, since we are educator and accounting professionals, we use lot of input. So if you look at this graph, there are 2 curves. One is a solid line, one is a dashed line, but they are very, very close to each other. And if you are saying that I can read, that means not only text, I should be able to read images. And if you see here, if the input was given like an image and that was really generated from one of the model I have in my sandbox, it will tell you this is S&P 500 index, which is the solid line, and the SPDR S&P 500 ETF trust, which is dashed line here. So you can see that it can distinguish between the 2 lines, 2 curves, which are very close to each other. And as an accounting professional, we deals with tables all the time. And look at, these are nested table. You have assets, then the description of the assets, and the value, total investment. So this is a nested table. Your LLM or AI should be able to read these tables either. And I can tell you with confidence that the newer model with the better image processing, with the better image understanding, it can read your curves, it can read your nested tables. So now it can read everything, so you can take advantage of that and get something. So as I said, that AI is nothing but getting all the information you have on the internet, putting it in a model, whether it's a GPT-4 model or Gemini GEMS model or Microsoft Bing model, whatever, putting in that model for your consumption. So how do I use that model? I use that model by asking questions to it, and that is called prompt. So the user of an AI model is really asking question, and question is a prompt is a way of telling the LLM that I want response to that. And that is really prompt is all about. So if you understand how to do the prompt, you can solve big accounting problem, you can analyze 10K statement, you can do anything of interest to you. So I will do many exercises, and the link to that sandbox is through your registered email. So you can log in, and then you will see many, many solutions available to you. What I will do, I think we already asked that. I'll start with some investment questions. So I'm going to put these questions in and what you can do that you can go to my sandbox, and here is my sandbox. I can log in through my email, and the first one is the investment coach. So you can select that, and then you can start chit-chatting with the investment coach through these prompts. I'll do one prompt, and then I will see if anybody is interested, and these prompts are in the chat for you. You can ask any questions. And people who showed interest in investment, I'm a naive investor. I do not know how to avoid risk when I'm investing, especially in the long term. So I can ask this question to you that I'm interested in long-term gains, but avoid. So it gave me that in order to minimize risk, you might consider focusing on investment that traditionally offer stability and steady growth. And this approach typically involves diversifying your portfolio across different asset classes and sectors. And it is giving you, will you be interested in bond and those kind of a thing. But I changed my mind, and I said, well, I want to understand what is beta. Everybody talks about beta. What is the beta? I really want to understand what is beta, and what is a typical beta value look like for, let's say, for somebody like Caterpillar, which is a company. So I can ask this question, and it will give me some answer. The value of the beta is typically around 1. And a beta of 1 suggests that stock price tends to move with the market. If a stock has a beta less than 1, then it is considered less volatile. If it is more than 1, it is more volatile. So it gave you a definition of beta. Eventually, I'm interested in building a portfolio. So now I gave a little bit more complex prompt. And more complex prompt really says, believe me, get ready, because next exercise I will asking one of you to do it. So I ask, can you help me build 2 portfolios? The first portfolio says that you should have, for the low risk, you should have a stable ETF in stocks that have low beta and high dividend because you want to minimize risk. The second portfolio should have a growth ETF and the stock which will have high beta and good long-term growth prospect. And I also can ask, can you provide a table with 4 columns: portfolio name, portfolio definition, example ETF, example stock? Because I am more of a table person. I like to see things in the table. And you can see that it created an income portfolio with some example ETFs and example stock. This is the income portfolio details, and these are the stock portfolio detail. And it also says that if you want more accurate, because it used the Google Serper, you can go to some of these financial websites also.
So let's take a quick pause. I'm following the chat, and we have placed the 3 prompts that Nina provided so far in the chat. Would somebody like to do a quick screen share and show us that they can repeat this process and show the whole thing working?
Did you put it for that? Because I have more exercises for resume consultant, and I have more exercises for, so I can give you, did you give the exercises for resume
Yeah.
consultant?
Not yet, but let's see if the investment analysis.
Yeah, if anybody wants to do investment analysis, they can.
So let's see if we have a volunteer.
Volunteer to repeat the same process on their machine.
And feel free to change the prompts as you go.
Yeah, or ask something different. You don't have to ask. And in the meantime, I will also put some prompt for the.
Let's see if there's a volunteer. It seems like.
There is a volunteer.
No, not yet.
Let me do, maybe somebody's interested in movie. Let me put it in the chat.
Now, hold on, Nina, just see if there are any questions first. Any blockers, any questions? Anyone Can you do a thumbs up if you were able to get to investment coach and do the prompt? Okay, so we got at least people who have been able to do it. Would either of you like to show it?
Yeah, show me your screen, and then we will move to the next exercise. The purpose of these exercises is to tell you that it has so much knowledge that it can work in different domain, whether it's investment domain or movie recommendation domain or your resume HR domain or just simple pet lover, right? So
Let's see.
so I would like to, I'm not sharing, I would like somebody who said that they could do it. If you can share your screen using the share option button.
I see that Pine had done a thumbs up and has got a video on. Can we?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, good. We are seeing your chat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's just.
Yeah, and you can ask anything different. Why am I going?
Was we had
What I have done.
whoever is not.
Yeah, please. So the next
No, we need to mute somebody.
Yeah, somebody is on a, okay, now everybody's muted. So the next exercise, I can also try movie recommendation. I put some prompt, movie recommendation prompt in the chat also. Let me share my screen again. So you can see that I can try now the movie recommendation, right? So there is no, you can try movie recommendation, or you can try, I have some exercise done for the resume consultant bot. You can also try the resume consultant bot, right? So, so you can, if you are a student, you may like to clean up your resume, find the jobs. If you are a, so I put some example prompt. If there is any other volunteer who would like to either try resume consultant or the movie recommendation. And by the way, you have access to this sandbox to try out for the next several weeks. If you want to try out these 4 bots, just to see the variety, what it can do. So any more volunteer for the, either for the resume consultant or for the movie recommendation? Because believe me, prompt is a basis for interacting with the AI model. So if you do not know how to write those or write effective prompts, then you may not get the right answer. So right now, just chit chat, ask any question in any way you want to phrase your sentence. Later, I will tell you some techniques how to write a good prompt. So any other volunteer for resume consultant? Should I show you that? Anybody going once?
We had a please in the chat.
We have a please in the chat. They want you to show something.
Okay. Okay, so I will show something. So let me, since there are a lot of students here, I'll just do that. You can also do something on the,
Nina, just for fun, just change it. I'm an accounting professional and I would like to figure out what kind of AI jobs can I do.
okay. And you can change anything. You can say, I am a business major, or I am a educator in such and such college, and I'm looking for some education related jobs in this area. And you can, these are all, so it gave you that there are data engineers, this gave you the source, machine learning engineer, AI data scientist, prompt engineers. Look at that. That's the hottest job, prompt engineer. If you know how to write a good prompt, you are in big, big demand. So that is the first thing you should do. And what I'm going to do that, since we have a lot of topics to do, lot of things, you got an idea that what really, you can ask questions, it will give you something about that. You can also ask, so you can find jobs, you can find the skills required. What are the skills needed for those jobs? What are they looking for those jobs? You can get the skills, or you can say, create a table with how many jobs are there and where are the references and your confidence. I always like to convert everything in a table. So I think I'm not going to movie recommendation. There are a lot more example. Anybody, last call, anybody wants to try any movie recommendation example?
Anybody wants to watch a movie this weekend?
Anybody wants to watch movie this weekend, and they can.
Okay, Oscar is ready.
Oscar, go ahead.
Yes.
I put these things. I will
I'll
stop
give it a
sharing.
shot.
Yeah, I think you're the.
Let's
Go
see.
ahead.
So where's the movie one?
Yeah, here. You missed it.
Oh,
It's in
there's
the
a pen.
second row. First bot in the second row.
Oh, I see. They all look like robots.
They are robots. They are bots, right?
They're all your assistants from now onwards.
Movies.
Scariest
2025.
movie released. Sometime it may give you, especially when you are violating any of the AI governance principle. Go ahead and hit return.
Nina was trying to get some movies from. Okay.
Okay, just say that. Can you go to IMDb
Say
and
1990s and you'll get a good answer.
yeah, because the AI models take so much time that they are not up to date from the last 10 years. Yeah. So they are not up to date with the latest information, especially.
Oh, some people say
Say that.
Hereditary.
Yeah, it is
How do I make it use IMDb?
just tell them, can
just-
you please go to IMDb, or can you please go
using IMDb, find the scariest movies.
and you can put the complete link. If you do not know, then https://imdb. whatever that is. Directly, I think that it does not have, because that it can tell you something like that too.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure. Go ahead and give me the Oscar nominated movie of the last. Oh, that's last 50 years. Oh my God.
Oh no.
So the important thing is, in some cases, it's going to give you the links because it thinks that those links are going to be more accurate, especially because you're saying things like
Yeah, it
last
gave you the
so many
meeting.
years, and it knows that it doesn't have the latest.
Okay.
So, however, if you had asked a question like, what were the Oscar nominated movies for 2010, it may be better at it. Okay, so it looks like the way you have set it up, Nina, you're telling it not to.
2023, just say 2023.
No, 2010 he did, and it didn't
No,
work.
2023 should be there.
No, it's not. It's not getting you the past ones either. So it looks like the engine that you're using
Does not have the Oscar award.
does not have Oscar awards.
Okay.
Many ChatGPT and other sites which have, so they are trained with lot of public data, but may not have the Oscar data in this one, because I'm just configuring with the
Mhm.
for the model which are already there. Thank you for checking it out.
Of
So
course.
the other thing that about it is that LLMs are humble, so they are not going to tell you everything. And the ones we have set it up, they're not going to give you something incorrect. They'll try to be a little bit on the conservative side. What you may find in the public domain are a bunch of LLMs that will say sure, and if you ask for a movie,
They may give you.
scariest movie from 2027, they will start giving you a list. But you know that that's not really a good answer. And
So anyway, so this is the prompt which when I tried, it gave me these answers. But I also have a pet lover, but I will not get into that because we have a lot more other things to do. So as I mentioned, that prompt is a way of telling the LLM, what can you do? What kind of questions can you answer using the AI models? And there is a prompt engineering is a process of crafting a very specific, well-structured prompt to interact with an AI model. And there is a process for crafting. You should have clarity, what words you are using, provide some context, set the expectations. If you put the wording, try it again later, say that I'm in a mood to watch such and such movie, scary movie, and I with my family, and give some more details. So provide the context, expectation, give some clear instruction what you really are looking for, what focus you are looking for, like movie from XYZ or whatever it may give you, and use the consistent tone. So don't ask just in one sentence, repeat it with by providing the proper guidance, then you will get much better answer. You may not get answer in the first attempt, but you have to iteratively refine your prompts till you get the right answer. So, for example, if I would have said I'm investment analysis and have been requested to build alternatives, that's a role. That's what I am doing. And that's the context that I have to build alternatives for my client. Can you help me build 2 portfolios? The first, that's a clarity that I want you to build 2 portfolios. First with the stable ETF, second with the growth ETF. Then I'm looking for regular income and has a low risk tolerance for first portfolio, but I'm comfortable with the higher risk for longer investment. So that's a focus. That's what I'm looking for. And then I can say now build it in a table with these 4 columns, and that's a guidance. So if you have these 4 ingredients in your prompt, you will get a good answer. And so it's important when you are writing a prompt that provide a role, provide a context, provide a clarity, and what exactly you are looking for.
Yeah.
So
There is a question from Karen in the chat that you may like to answer as you go.
okay.
2 questions. One is, why does it say it's an agent when it looks like it's a chatbot? Does it have agentic capability? And the second is, what is the underlying LLM being used?
Okay, so in some of them, we have used GPT-4o. And actually, in most of them, all the 4 which we demonstrated today, the GPT-4o has been set up. We were building as a knowledge assistant, which is a bot kind of a thing. However, recently we have moved it to make it moving some of these bots to agentic framework, because agents are a little bit more proactive and can understand things and can understand more. So we are moving slowly from knowledge assistant to agentic framework for most of these solutions. I use this sandbox to teach my own students, and I realize that a lot of times the students learn a lot more, much faster and much better by utilizing a problem of interest to them, whether it's a movie recommendation, resume consultant. So we build all these bots. So it's really to give you a variety of things you can do with a AI model.
Yeah, and one of the things, Karen, you may be getting into it in the process is the difference between a chatbot and agent would be in a chatbot, if it does not know anything about IMDb, it'll come back and say, hey, here's the place you can find it. But in an agent, you can give Google Serper as a tool, and it will go and find the information for you from that site and give it to you. So the way Oscar's interaction happened, I'm assuming that in this particular case, he was dealing with a chatbot and not with a agent in that situation. And it's a mixed bag right now in the sandbox. So not everything is agentic.
So now you saw that what AI can do for you. Let's get into what is AI and what is generative AI. So I wanted to give you that all of us human beings, we are knowledgeable entities. We have a lot of neurons in our head. And through these neurons, we carry knowledge about any particular domain, whether it's accounting, finance, business, medical, whatever that is. And neurons are connected to each other. So when we are saying, when we see a movie and we say, oh, this movie reminds me of the movie I saw in the past. And that is through the connection these neurons have to each other. So neurons carry the knowledge and synapses carry the interaction or the connections to the neurons. So there are about 400 billion neurons and individual carries, and there are about 500 trillion synapses we have. Thanks to computing power, now it is possible to bring that kind of a knowledge now directly into a computer. So computers are now as knowledgeable as a human being or an expert. And think about if you have 10 individuals in a game of chess master, that's what IBM did, that IBM in the game of in the game of chess, they coded the knowledge from 10 many individuals who were the chess masters. And when they put all that knowledge into the computer program could defeat anybody, including the chess masters. So that so what we are doing is that, and not only individuals have knowledge, but the organizations have knowledge. Organization carry their knowledge as a method and procedures. And there are a lot of method and procedures. So they take the group of people, help them build their job aids, training aids, method and procedure, and now everybody is using that. And the public internet is also full of data, like you have Wikipedia, you have IMDb, you have TMDB, you have all these things available to you, which has all this information. You have websites containing medical records, you have you have sports things, you have a regulation, you have all these sites are available to you, and that knowledge can be done. So if we take all these individual knowledge, and as we talked about in the game of chess, if the chess master, what does it do? That it looks at individual position of the opponent and its own, and then it knows that for the winning position, I have to be here, right, in order to win. And these are the intermediate steps, intermediate connections I can go to get to the winning position. So the only way you can take it from the initial state to the final state, or from your initial question to your final response you are looking for, is through the series of connections you can have. And the way we can solve these connections is not randomly, but using statistical techniques. So if you take individual knowledge or organization knowledge or public knowledge, and we can feed it to a computer program, because now computers are capable of handling that kind of parameters, that many trillions and trillions of parameters, then I can easily, through these connections, which are called hidden layers, I can take it from where you are to your end state. And that is all through statistical learning. We have lot of regression models running behind the scene, and that's why all these AI models takes lot of millions of CPU time to solve. So we have all these words or tokens, you can say, and how they are connected to the end state, and you basically have a huge network of connections, and through these connections you can find answers to the questions. So it's all statistical learning, and because of the nature that it takes million CPU, your models are not up to date, more current, right? So GPT-4o, for example, is still running with 2024 information. It doesn't have all the latest in 2025, right? You can look at these models, and if the results are not right, you can go back and improve it. In your case, if the results are not getting right, as you saw in the movie recommendation, you can go back and clean up your prompt so that you can ask the prompt in such a manner that you can get the results. So that means there may be something you need to improvise in your prompt definition. And that's why all these foundation model, or the LLM, which stands for large language model, they are there because they can solve many problems. So the LLMs have been trained to take all these public data and provide you answers or response. And the knowledge can be private or public. Right now, the LLMs have the public information, but you can supplement them with your private knowledge. And you can also crowdsource it, and you can pre-train them. So now once they are trained, they can be solved for any type of problem, whether movie, investment, resume, pet, whatever that domain is. So that is generative AI. And generative AI is basically capable of generating, because what you saw here is that taking here, it can generate next token, next till you get to the final state. So it is very good in reading and understanding whether it's a paragraph, whether it's a table, or it can extract, or I can write. It can summarize your email, it can summarize your document, it can elaborate, it can transform. It can even develop a code for you. If you give it proper instructions, it can develop a code for you. It can chit chat. So the knowledge agents are really the chit chatter bots, which can interpret, respond, ask questions, and provide you the response. And of course, the drawing is more thing. It can draw images, tables, schematics, and you can do that. So because of the way they have been trained, there is an issue with the hallucination, that sometimes it may give you false or nonsensical information, especially when it was not designed correctly, or if there is a poor prompt you might have. So there are techniques for stopping the hallucination, and that's why I cover in my course a lot of techniques, whether it's prompt chaining or flip interaction or many techniques you can utilize to develop a good prompt, and then you may not get hallucinated answers. Or if you have coming from the industry, you might have your own industry specific terms and knowledge, you may bring it. Or you know that it doesn't have the latest information. Maybe you can bring the OSCAR 2025, or you can bring OSCAR 2024, or whatever the latest data is, and then supplement the LLM. So those are the 3 techniques which I cover in my prompt engineering class, but those are the ways to improving the responses from a AI model. So let me now bring it back to Arvind, who will talk about AI in accounting and finance. Let me take a 1-minute pause and ask, is there any questions on the topic we covered so far?
And Oscar, I will be covering Edgar as part of my next section. So I have your question noted there.
If not, then after that, we will do, since there are a lot of accounting professionals here, we will do an exercise on the 10K analysis. And then we will also do an exercise on the grading the assignment, which is really a agentic thing. All the exercises mostly were the chatbot, but since we are changing it, it is showing agent. So with that, let Arvind start on the AI.
Yeah, so let me kind of give you a perspective from a KPMG perspective on where we are headed with it. We conduct a lot of annual surveys, and this is results from one of the annual surveys that we did. No surprises here. A lot of our clients are coming to us and saying, hey, when can we get started? How do we go about doing it? And they are coming to KPMG for a reason. Most of the time, the technology vendors are going saying, you can do anything you want to do. But then they also see all the hallucination. They also see a lot of situations where they have security risk with their data. So we are providing a trusted environment. We are also giving them some advice on how to build their own trusted environment where they can bring AI technology without losing out in a big way on their risks and security, and also on the quality of the results that they get out of that. So how do I reduce hallucination and still get the right results? Now, one of the things Nina talked about there was the ability to bring your own knowledge to an LLM and creating your private environment. At KPMG, we have access to over 28 petabytes of information. So petabyte is like, you start with gigabytes and then terabytes, and then after terabyte it comes petabyte, which is thousands of terabytes, and we have 28 of them. So it's a fair amount of information, and I don't think we have formally counted it fully. We just basically looked at all the storage that we had and then all the data that we were accessing, and we came back with some estimates on that. Now, the interesting thing is you can say, so KPMG, you have all of this information. Are you using that in every engagement? And the answer is no. Humanly, it is impossible for anyone to look at that kind of an information set. So Oscar, you talked a little bit about Edgar. Edgar is one of the sources that we use quite extensively, and it has got public financial data on all the major corporations in the US. If you use just the Edgar data like this and give it to a consultant, they don't have time in the day to read a set of 10Ks and get the information like that. But with the help of the LLM, we can actually assist. We can build an environment where we can do a better job of that. So what I'm going to do here is to give you a little bit of a focus on where KPMG is in that journey in terms of where we bring in all of that content. We are moving away from this folklore where there were two partners, they would come together and one of them says, hey, I did something, work with a client in consumer market. And the second one says, really, I have got a client in consumer market. Can you tell me a little bit more? You can watch the way I'm using the words. I'm not telling anything about Pepsi and Coke, but these people are talking to each other and they're gradually sharing with each other the knowledge that they're allowed to, or content that they're allowed to share, without going into any of the confidential information about their clients. What we want to really do is to formalize that process, make it in a trusted way so that it is all contractually binding between us and our clients. And we have a way of working through that thing. That way we can share the knowledge, but not necessarily anything that is important to any of our clients. Next slide. So what are the kind of functions we are doing? So let's get a little bit into those functions. So firstly, we are covering the entire gamut. We've got three major functions. Advisory is our biggest. So a lot of work we do is accounting advisory services. We do a fair amount of finance transformation work. We do a lot of work in transaction services where we are helping out companies to buy and sell companies. A lot of the work we are doing there, we are bringing in AI technology to assist in a lot of content processing and in terms of some of the preliminary work and thinking about how to pull that information. Take something like benchmarking and peer analysis. This is something that we are beginning to do. Comment line on SEC, that's another interesting area. So anytime there's a public information that comes out on the public finance sites, people write comments. Now, somebody has to analyze those comments and get back to the CFO on what comments they are getting and how they are impacting their reputation and what are the questions people are asking. So we have created agents that can actually read those comment lines and they can analyze that. The key statement I want to make through all this is generative AI will not replace accountants. This is something that internally we have debated a lot. We have discussed it. And we fully understand that Gen AI, so anybody who's beginning to say, hey, what will happen to all my accounting degrees? Am I going to be able to work through that thing? I kind of want to remind you of where we were before computers. I remember the time I was working on my first job where the entire accounting system was all manually done. And you look at it today and you've got SAP or Oracle taking care of most of the day-to-day mundane kind of activities. Now the people's job is mostly to analyze that information, to make interpretations, and so on and so forth. As we go forward, knowledge is going to become free. And now we are going to have accountants start to utilize that knowledge in a much more effective way to do their work. So the kind of questions you should be asking through that process is something about risk. What kind of safeguards I can do to strategically and think about risk? How can enhance my customer experience? How do I deal with that in a way that I can use AI to bring the knowledge, but not necessarily everything? I've got a person and a computer doing that thing. What data is available for doing my work? What are the biggest barriers to implement that function? And do I have my policies and controls adhere to the industry standard and global regulation? One of the things we found was that comparing two documents was almost hard to do. Even if you had two financial statements and you were trying to compare the two, it was very hard to do that. With Gen AI, it's a breeze work. You can do that much more easily. So you can compare controls and procedures to contracts, and you can come back and say which of the contracts are following those control procedures and which ones are not. How can I ensure effective collaboration? So those are the kind of things that we do. In doing that, prompting is the new coding language. So one of the ways I think about it is earlier you thought about something, you created an algorithm, you found a software programmer, they sat down, wrote the code, and got everything running. No longer the case. You can actually sit down in a prompt, you can write something. There was somebody who was looking at GRC risk tables, and I showed that person how they could use prompts to do a fairly intricate Alteryx program utilizing an LLM. So this is where prompting is now becoming a very, very important way of expressing. And who is the best at doing that kind of a prompt? It would be an accountant. It would not be a software programmer. So I think accountants have an edge when it comes to doing good prompting to provide directly to an LLM the directions and excitements to do that kind of work. What can you do to in terms of getting thinking about it? So prompt engineering is one of the first things. So this is why Nina got you into kind of the first exercise of breaking the ice and getting you to start thinking about prompting. But validation is even more important. We need to have the skills to validate output to improve trust. We cannot just take a prompt and say, oh, this prompt worked fine, I'm just going to give it to the client. You have to have a proper way of testing it. So when Nina gets into the GradeBot, I would like her to spend a little time to talk about how she makes sure that the GradeBot is actually effectively working in the right way, because that's really into prompt validation kind of the work. And last but not the least is the agentic workflows. So a lot of the work that we do is not a single prompt. It is a collection of prompts. It is essentially utilizing that to do an accounting function of some sort. And these workflows are very important to define how these prompts work together in an agentic framework to do that entire task, taking human inputs as you go and working through that thing. So these are really the ways in which we have to learn how to utilize Gen AI, which means that we have to think about how to do skill development. At KPMG, we have a lot of people, and we are very aggressive in terms of building our skill development programs. Last year, we conducted over 35,000 courses across KPMG professionals to get them up to date on a lot of the Gen AI skills. So this is really where the skill building is very important. We have to put importance to prompt engineering. We have to look at what kind of jobs landscape's changing. We have just gotten into thinking about product engineering and product management as a major task for an accounting firm. Why? We have to build a lot of assets in this area with GenAI. And this is really the value that we have to keep giving to the employers. So that way they have got a way of uh, getting the skills in the right way of getting the job done with GenAI. So last but not the least, I'm going to talk a little bit about integrating the pillars of trust. NIST came back with a framework where they said that these are the 7 dimensions that they would like to see as a way any GenAI system should follow. KPMG incorporated those 7, and we have now added 3 more. So we have our 10 ethical pillars that we go by in building of our systems. It's fairness. Is the system fair? Is it going to be not have a bias towards one set of individuals or another? Is it transparent? Is it giving you all the information and you understand what it is actually doing and it explains what it is doing? That it has the proper accountability with you. Just like the SOX compliance, we cannot just simply say the system did it, so it's okay. We have to have proper accountability through that. We have to have data integrity across all of this. The system should be reliable, and many of the LLMs that you work through chatbot, you're going to find they're not reliable. But we have to build the reliability into that environment. Security is a major concern for us. We actually ended up creating a venture in this area to go after security in a big way. And a related issue is safety. We want to make sure that this is not going to harm people, business, or property. Privacy is important, so we are making sure that client information is not leaked inadvertently from one client to another or one individual to another, and so on and so forth. And finally, sustainability. I'm very concerned right now that with all the chips warming up the globe, somewhere along the line we will run out of water and heat is going to be too much. So these are the kind of areas where we want to make sure that we are dealing with LLMs that do not end up burning the entire earth. How do you do that with ethical AI in a practical use? These are some of the ways in which in any engagement we are beginning to bring these techniques to make AI accountable, to make AI trustworthy. Number one, we do find that there are AI tool consistency. So we basically make sure that we account for that. Sometimes you ask 2 LLMs, you get an answer, you get the average of the 2, you get a better response. That's a very simple way of figuring that out. We are bringing in taxonomy. So we bring in the words that people use into that. Sometimes this was a student survey that we were looking at. You find the responses are vague. So then how do you categorize those kind of responses? This is like the human touch. We have to think about how to deal with the human input and how the human input can be ambiguous. Improving the accuracy is very important. We go through a lot of testing to make sure that that happens. And then we create things like review boards to make sure that we have a way of having a human set of reviewers looking at whatever programs that we are building, whatever categorizations that we are building, whatever procedures we are building, the algorithms, and so on and so forth. So that should give you an idea on ethics. Those pillars are not just on paper, they actually get used in the actual work to give us a dashboard on performance of that. So to summarize, KPMG sees a major opportunity with GenAI. Our investment, our creation of the vice chair for AI is testament to that fact. We have got a global organization that's moving in that direction. We are embracing in a very responsible way, and we are going after in a big way towards skill development. Okay, so that's that section here. Now we are ready to move to 10K.
So 10K, I think since we have a lot of accounting professional and you want to first go over this video, which can you skip it?
Yeah, let's quickly watch the first minute of it. I actually want to show this because KPMG is so excited about document parsing that we ended up taking a minority interest in a company called Llama Cloud, sorry. And Llama Cloud gives us the ability to, at scale, do a lot of this work. Maybe we can, are you sharing the sound, Nina?
Yeah, I think I am.
Maybe I can just explain it. That's okay. So what we found was that LLMs, as you probably already know, have got a token limit. You cannot just take a 10K and just insert it there. Oh, you got it running? Can everybody
We all
hear?
talk about AI, but without data, none of this is going to work. My name is Swami Chandrasekharan. I'm a partner at KPMG. I lead the AI and data labs for the firm, both here in the US and globally. We are a professional services firm, tax, audit, advisory are three broad lines of business. When it comes to making these language models understand the context that you're dealing with, having the right data for AI, having the right data that AI needs to do inferencing on is going to be very critical. And AI that can work on helping get data better or manage the data better. So if you look at these three lenses through which you can look at AI and data and the relationships between them, Llama Index plays a very important role. What we try to enable for our knowledge workers and professionals is the ability to do client work in more modern, digitized way that is powered by AI tools and capabilities. So, for example, if I'm dealing with the corpus that is made up of contracts, I not only want the ability to know which contracts are up for renewal, where the payment terms are not aligned with my corporate defined payment standards or master services agreement, but I also want to create an additional report or intelligence where I can go look at what have we done with those respective vendors, what are the outstanding invoices, products that we have procured, because I want all of that info to be able to be used for my next round of renegotiation or vendor rationalization and be whatnot. The way I look at Llama Cloud is it's got four big things. The index part where I can set up ingestion pipelines at scale. And then Llama Parse and Llama Extract, where like dragging and dropping in the old world, in the structured data world, in the new world with Llama Extract, I can specify in plain English, what am I looking for? Because the variability, my source documents happen to be things like commercial loan agreements or invoices. Not all of them are going to be in the standard shape and size. So if I'm able to express them in English and helping extract them and putting them in a destination where I could go from unstructured to structured and do downstream processing. It looks very simple, but it's a very hard problem.
So basically, there are tools, especially in the accounting world. We are talking about a lot of documents. And what I will do in my second exercise is that I'm going to parse a 10K statement, and it was about 120-page document. It's Croc's 10K statement. Let me quickly go over the 10K statement document and show you that this document is about 128 pages. It has nested terms, things, tables. You can see the big tables, everything. And reading that 128-page document is a lot of work to analyze and everything. And I just want a quick insight on that. So that is also, you saw the simple prompts. Now I'm going to ingest that document through tool like Llama Index and then get. So what I have done that is to save the time, because it takes time to ingest the document and everything. So I created this prompt, and I can also put these prompts, and I'll show you if anybody wants to do it, but they need to be executed in the right order, in the right manner. So I will put it in the chat so that to get the answers, because they are all connected to each other. So there is a sequencing which you have to follow. So let me just take the first prompt, and I'll show it to you. And if you want to follow along or do something, let me know. But I will use the sandbox again. And this time I will go to the sandbox, and I create something called 10K analyzer, right? You can see 10K analyzer, and it's already loaded with Croc's 10K statement. So I can ask things like, and this one, so it already gave you that based on the Crocs 10K document, the two main brands of Crocs Inc. are Crocs and Hey Dude. And I can ask things like, what is the revenue growth? What is the gross margin? I can see those things. And since we are really little bit running behind, so I'm just going to do a couple of them, and I will have you try these things in your spare time on the sandbox, since you will have. So it gave you that what is the revenue growth, how much it came from the Crocs brand versus the newer Hey Dude brand. So it gives you total revenue, 23, 22 revenue by brand, Crocs brand, Hey Dude brand, and everything. I mean, so I listed some of the prompts which I thought that they were. I can also ask the gross margin and why did it change year after year, right? I can ask any of those questions. And as Arvind said, that prompt validation is a big thing. So I have some prompts, but we need to do the right validation to make sure they are the right prompts. So it gave you the gross margin for 23, 22, gave you the change year over year. It says why did it increase? Because of the lower freight cost, favorable channel mix. These are the main reasons for doing it. So you can see that I can ask any of those questions with 120-page document. And that's just a general question. I want to see what's the impact of Hey Dude acquisition. Why did they, do you see what is the impact? And I can see the impact on the financial statement also, right? So Hey Dude acquisition, what can I so it says that acquisition details and rationale that it was acquired on such and such date. The acquisition was 2.5 billion. This is the revenue growth, financial impact on the revenue growth. Gave you that how much it revenue grew, financial impact on the gross margin. 23 margin was 46.5 in 22, so it really went up from 22 to 2023, right? Impact on the consolidated financials. They increased the scale and complexity, though, but it led to larger asset base and company debt level were increased. And it gave you what is the strategic and market impact. It has the acquisition has successfully diversified Crocs Inc.'s product offering beyond the iconic clog, tapping into the casual lightwear footwear segment. So this is the impact of 10K on Crocs with the Hey Dude acquisition. And I see three types of audience here. So we have the general students or general public for which I did the general use cases. And then for the accountant, I said that now look at that. It used to take months to analyze and this and write the report. Now you literally can do it in days and weeks, maximum weeks, write a good report and then submit it to your client. So I put all the answers also, but I would like you to try it out outside the class. The next thing I really wanted to do, because somebody told me agent. So what is an agent? Agent is set of different agent put together. So one agent, it's a very easy to think about in the context of grading. So what I will do that, let's say I have this homework and I just picked up a very simple homework for accounting, introduction to accounting concept. What is the role of accounting in business? What does the accounting equation in financial statement means? Like you have asset is equal to liability plus owner's equity. What does that mean? Describe that. And the third one was how do you bring ethics and accuracy in accounting, because you are using AI. So those were the three questions in the homework assignment. How can I solve this problem using the so we built a grade bot over the last several years, and grade bot focused on not only assignment grading but for the admission screening. And really the reason why it came, because there was a lot of work for the instructor to grade assignment, and then always there is a cost cutting happening in the education level. Yeah, so the grade bot was brought in so that we can bring the responsible AI principles and reduce the bottleneck from months and months to weeks, days and weeks. So basically, it is an multi-agentic solution which can automate and accurate your grading. It can streamline your admission scoring process, and instructors are always in the loop. They are empowered, they are in the control, they can change things, they can refine it, and it's very fair and transparent evaluation, and it is integrated with your learning management system. So somebody asked you for the agent. There are multiple agents. You have agent for rubric creator, you have an agent for grading, agent for evaluating the grading, and then printing it. And all these agents works in a secure private LLM environment. They utilize synthetic data to evaluate the grader as well as rubric creator to make sure the rubric is in line with the grading. And it is using the RAG pipeline. I don't want to get into too many technical terms, but has been designed to provide some grounded answers so you don't get out of hallucinated answers. And we have graded over 24,000 assignments using this GradeBot across many universities. Though there are many competitors, but they are still running on the traditional AI technology, rule-based technology. So our multi-agentic solution with real-time scoring and utilizing the synthetic data to explain results as well as validate the results has made us completely differentiated with the other competitors. So let's take this assignment, and let's say process is very simple. You first create the rubric, set up your assignment, grade it, review the results, and then download the results. So let me use an assignment to show you. So I will come here and I will go, and I think that we did not have time to hook up all of you in this one here. If anybody is interested, they can go to gradebot.ai and then they can sign up for 10 free license to check it out. So rubric creator, you basically download. Let me just take the assignment. This is my homework assignment in accounting, which I just shared. I can load it. So the one agent comes and creates the rubric. And then behind the scene, there is a synthetic data generator which is happening, which looks at the rubric creator results and say how good it is or how bad it is or what fine tuning we need to do. So you can see there are 3 questions. So there are 3 things. You can change any of these questions. I can say I don't like it, or I can change 10 to 5 or 7 or 8, whatever the number I want to do. I will not change it because I'm using this rubric, but you can change the numbers. You can change good score should be 6. I can change it to 6, and the average should be, or maybe I should make it as a good score as 7. So then excellent gets 8, good score gets 7, average gets 6, below gets 4, and the poor gets 0. So you can change anything, and if you want, you can download the rubric. You can download the rubric in Excel or CSV, and it will download the rubric for you, and you can see this is the rubric, and you can literally things, and you can still change it or save it or whatever you want to do. So after the rubric is, any questions on rubric creation? After rubric, anybody going?
No.
So then we can set up an assignment. Let me just call it this assignment. I'm calling LARC workshop 1010. And my assignment just say accounting assignment. I can give the rubric and I can give also the study guide. If you want to follow a study guide, you can, but I will just do the rubric. I'll take this rubric here and I will load this rubric, and I don't have any study guide, but if you do have the study guide, you can load the study guide here. So I have I have too many assignments which I use for grading. So what I can do that I can bring some assignment. They were synthetically generated. Let me just use. And let me just do 5 yeah, 5 is good enough. It takes 50, 60 seconds to, and I also wanted to show you, we started with prompt engineering, writing any prompts, and we said, okay, what prompt can give you? If you don't write good prompts, you don't get the right answer. If you get the good prompts, you may get the good answer. Then we talked about you can take a big document, like 128-page document, which has the 10K statement, and the AI model can read that document through the proper data extraction techniques, which we have built in the sandbox for that use case. And you can get any answers. Now we are saying that you can build agents, and each agent is focusing on certain tasks. So then you are narrowing it. And this was incomplete. You can see that the user has not given anything. So the gradeboard ended up giving a 0 score. If you look at, this was a well explained, this was a good assignment because we have synthetically generated and then we said these are the good. It gave you the full score of 30. It gave you the explanation. The response thoroughly covers all subpoints, including the purpose of accounting, its role as a language of business, its importance in decision making, and a real life example. The explanation is clear and coherent, and the example of a retailer using income statement is relevant and well integrated. The student demonstrated strong understanding of the tools with no inaccuracies. I can take another one. This is an average. It got an average score of 8. I can see another one which is also 0 because, so you can see that it is grading, and at any point if you don't like anything, you can change the score, you can change the justification, you can change anything. Now you can download, and download will give you the summary of all your evaluation. I don't have a LMS integration here, but you can download it. You see the integration with the Canvas or whatever tool you have, and and you can say that this is the when it comes from the LMS, the student name is hidden in the name of the file, so you can read the file name. Student IDs are sometimes also integrated there. Overall score, what you got, overall band, overall rationale, and then for all the 3 questions, what did you get? The score, the band, and you can see, and that information can be fed to LMS. So this gives you, and if you really want to play with this tool, what I can do that I can, there is a gradeboard.ai site, and you can sign up for the free trial with the 10 assignment, and you can test it out. So I will put gradeboard.ai here also, and you can test out. And this presentation will be given to Judy, and she will be posting it on the, I will be giving it to the Judy soon after the workshop is over. So I will take a pause and I will ask any questions somebody might have. Anybody has any question? I just put the reports too. And as a next step, I just wanted to emphasize that Excel came as one of the most advanced data analysis tool, and look at the time, now everybody's using Excel. Then internet came, it changed the way we are communicating and sharing data with each other. Then the cloud came, now everybody's working in the cloud infrastructure. Generative AI is the future of intelligent automation, and you are in the early phases right now. Start using it because everybody will be using generative AI going forward. I have given you free access to, not free access, but I have given you some courses which are available. And I am also giving you a 10% discounted coupon. You can either take the self-paced courses, which are much cheaper, or you can also register for the instructor-led courses, which are available. Uh, uh, Using this code, if you want, you can sign up for anything and receive 10% discount.
All right. Thank you so much.
Any question answers? We have a few more minutes.
Any reactions?
Any reaction? Help us tailor future training, feedback from respond link. Yeah, I gave you some future training, the links, and that is available. Yeah, I'll send you all the slides to Judy in 5 minutes after the meeting is over, but I still have 3 more minutes. So anybody wants to ask any last minute question, they can.
And if there are no more questions, please know that their contact information is there. And am I sharing? Let me see, let me share my screen.
Let me put the contact information.
Yeah, most important thing is connect with us on LinkedIn. There is a prompt engineering group that we run, and we would love to have you join that group. It's connected to both of our profiles, so you can take a look at it. That's where we keep a community of people talking to each other. Despite the fact that there is so much hype for AI, there is still a lot of gap in knowledge, and we are passionate about it. We want to make sure that there's a free flow of information about Gen AI.
Well, thank you everyone who participated in today's session. And thank you, Arvind and Nina, for leading today's session. We really appreciate it. Please know that we would really appreciate you completing the feedback form. The link is there in the chat. Your feedback helps us tailor future AI professional development sessions. And we invite you to check out the Lark AI Learning Library for future trainings and for additional resources. So we look forward to seeing you all again, and have a wonderful weekend.